Laura Riley, my name is Chris Chichester. You know me. You know my name. Because we've known each other for 35 years. And we lived at 3 different residences. So as I'm demanding answers from you, Laura Riley, just think about the fact that I've known you since President Ronald Reagan began his 6th year in office. Remember that day? My first day at the 159th Aviation Battalion? I was in processing at headquarters. And I sat down and we had a brief conversation. I think you said to me, where are you from? And I said, New York. And you said, me too. I said, I'm from Long Island. And you said, you were from Rochester. And we were friends. Why do you think you wanted to be my friend and I wanted to be your friend at the 159th Aviation Battalion? There are a number of reasons why people become friends. And there are reasons why men and women become friends and remain friends. And the reason why I remained your friend at the 159th Aviation Battalion is because you understood and accepted the way I treated you. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to get into those details. Because my behavior around you at 20 years old always respected your dignity, even when I was in your room and it was you and me alone. And you know that about me, Laura Riley. I'm fundamentally the same human being I was in 1986, in that I have always known the moral separation between right and wrong, moral and immoral. And that's always why I always respected you at the 159th Aviation Battalion. And I believe that you know that. So, Laura Riley, I've been asking you now for a significant period of time to tell me the facts and circumstances of my illegal eviction. There are a number of reasons why it's illegal. The driving force reason why it's illegal is that there's no court order. And as I've said to you previously, and on YouTube that I'm sending to the district attorney's office, sheriff's office, because I will file criminal charges against Antonino Spano, who is the father, because the son, Giuseppe Spano, is dead at 47 years old, this multiple sclerosis freak. And I'm going to hold up an app I've been using from TikTok. And this app only allows you to go for 3 minutes. And I sent you a TikTok app. I'm not going to play the whole thing. And technology is odd and weird and funny. So I'm going to hold this up. And I believe the first thing I said to you in this app is, what did our former landlord, Giuseppe Spano, say to you when he demanded that you come to where we used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive and take everything to that storage locker? The problem, Laura Riley, I think of Webster, New York, with removing everything from where we used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive is it takes a court order. So, Laura Riley, I'm going to attempt to control myself when I'm on here and not raise my voice like I just did. Because when I think about your involvement in my life and the fact that I have nothing, and I think about what this multiple sclerosis freak did to me or his father, I have to try to maintain my equanimity because I have nothing. And I have nothing because you're involved in me having nothing and you're refusing to answer me. I will write the criminal complaint about you no matter what. And I don't know where you live. I don't know if you live at 781 Winifred Drive in Webster, where we used to live, back when you used to be Laura Riley. I don't know if you worked at the Fairport Public Library. I know nothing about you. You injected yourself into my life, and then when my life is in a million little pieces, I'm asking questions about you, Laura Riley, breaking the law. That's not an exaggeration. You're refusing to provide me with answers. So, Laura, I'm going to try to click on this, and then perhaps you can hear me.
Laura, this is Chris. What did our former landlord, Giuseppe Spano, say to you when he contacted you to go to where we used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive and take every single thing I own out of the residence to that storage locker in Webster? You're refusing to answer. I'm going to contact...
So, Laura, do you understand English language? Because If I knew where you lived, I'd send you a copy of The Elements of Style by E.B. White and William Strunk Jr. Did you understand what I said to you months ago? What did our former landlord say to you, Giuseppe Spano, when he demanded that you take everything I once owned to a storage locker? What happened? That's why I'm on this YouTube, and that's why I have to demand this again from you, because you're refusing to tell me what happened. I'm evicted, and you know the facts and circumstances of my illegal eviction. It's illegal because there's no court order. It does not matter that I did not have a lease. I lived with the lease for 5 years in Albany, New York, at 157 Winthrop Avenue. I lived for 2 years, the 5 years I lived in Washington, D.C., 600 Constitution Avenue without a lease. And what I now know is that tenants without a lease, they only have the same protections as tenants with a lease, meaning that you can't just lock the doors on someone without a court order because they don't have a lease, which happened to me. Lord, you see this shirt I'm wearing? Because I ran a 5K at Monroe Community College, and it says MCC here. Lord, why do you think I know that you're a graduate, of Monroe Community College? Because I'm some alien human being? Laura Riley? Why do you think I know that you're a graduate of Nazareth College? Laura Riley? Why do you think I know that your son's name is Davis and your daughter's name is Sarah and your ex-husband's name is Paul? Why do you think I know your mother's name is Marlene? Because I met your mother. What's my name, Laura Riley? When did we first meet, Laura Riley? So, I've been in jail 6 times, and there are multiple reasons for it. The driving force reason is I read the payroll for the sheriff's office. I'm full disclosure. I know everything as far as their salaries because of me. And I'm in jail without a prosecutor ever talking in court. And so I'm demanding from this disgusting, sickening hack, Sandra Dorling, the district attorney's office, to name my prosecutors. And this is called the Freedom of Information Law, Laura, that I've been using for 12 plus months. This is not everything. I could not physically hold up everything. This is everything, I think, from just the last 6 months. And I've attached a foil to this email. And there were 54. So if you scroll through them in the PDF attachment, you'll see. The reason why I'm holding this up and showing you this, Laura, and I know it looks ridiculous, in those documents, 50 times easy, it says on it, what's the name of my prosecutor? Because I'll begin a process to disbar these attorneys assigned to my concocted charges, my lies, and my fiction from the district attorney's office. So I'm using the Freedom of Information Law, and it says on it, what is the name of the prosecutor? Like, for example, I just used this on December 16th. This is attached to YouTube, and this is the corruption. And the reason why I tell you this, not only because the people in your life, if they ever have to go into a courtroom with the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, there's a very good chance that the people in your life, someone in your life, even Davis or Sarah, can be delivered to jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk in court. So I'm just going to hold up one here. Because I was promoted from Penfield Town Court to New York State Supreme Court. I went from a $28,000 bald-headed widow, Paul C. Metzler, to $208,000 Alex Renzi. You know why that is? Because of what I'm doing to what I call Psychopaths Incorporated at the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office. There is an assistant district attorney at 47 South Bitsue in Rochester who sits in his office and concocts crimes for me. It's not an exaggeration. I know that sounds ridiculous, like some Seinfeld episode. That's exactly what's happened to me. So I'm demanding the names of their prosecutors and my prosecutors, and they're not telling me, like I have right here where it says on this foil, the documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester with Paul C. Metzler, Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? Sandra Dorling. Or when you were hired at the Penfield Public Library and you opened the door for the first time, your first day at work before the during the interview, did you know that Penfield Town Court is down the hallway from the front door? Because I didn't. A court inside a library complex. This is the 1984 of my life. So, Laura Riley. Now, I was on this TikTok app where I said,
Laura, this is Chris. What did our former landlord, Giuseppe Spano, say to you when he contacted you to go to where we used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive and take every single thing I own out of the residence to that storage locker in Webster.
Now, Laura,
Refusing to answer.
the reason why I played that again is because I'm concerned about your ability to understand the English language. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic or engage in any type of hyperbole. I truly am. What do you not understand? You received a phone call. I believe it was from our dead landlord, Giuseppe Spano. And he said words to the effect of, you better come and get everything your ex-boyfriend owns or I'm going to throw it away. That's a crime, by the way. And did you ask him why? What are the facts and circumstances of what happened in that conversation? Tell me what happened. And then what happened when you called my sister Barbara Stematagis of Glenwood, Maryland? Tell me what happened. And this is how you can tell me what happened. I understand if you don't want to email me or talk to me on the phone, because I really don't want to read any of your emails because I don't want to see that ridiculous email that begins at SEND. I certainly don't want to hear your voice. But you can put it in a 500-word or 1,000-word document and send it to this address right here, because this is where I can be reached. Laura Riley, I think of Webster, New York. 620 Park Avenue, PMB number 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. I'm going to repeat this again. 620 Park Avenue, PMB number 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. So, Laura, you went to MCC. You have a 2-year degree from MCC. So you should be able to understand and process the English language that I just read. You graduated from Nazareth College. You should be able to understand the English language that I just read. What's the problem, Laura? Is it something with your health? Because that I don't understand. And since this is an open forum here on this Google product that is YouTube, I'm not going to say anything about your health. But if there is a problem that prevents you from providing me with simple information because of your health, that's understandable. What's not understandable is your abject and continuing, obnoxious and disgusting refusal to tell me what happened. My life is going onward, and there you are in my life. The reason why I have to be on this YouTube here is because you decided to inject yourself back into my life. And then when I realized that things are radically wrong and even criminal with you injecting yourself back into my life, and I'm asking you for answers, you're refusing. I was at first emailing you and talking to you and treating you the way I always have, with the dignity that you deserve. And then I realized she's not responding to me in any way at all, and this is my life, where I now own nothing. When you walked in there, Laura Riley, if in fact you were in the residence, this is what you refused to answer. I'm a book collector. Were you in the residence, looked at my books, and decided I'm not taking his books? Why don't you answer that, Laura Riley? What about my bed? What about my couch? Laura Riley, what are the facts and circumstances the phone call you received to take my personal possessions at a storage locker? Was it our dead Lord Giuseppe Spano? Was it his father, Antonino Spano? So this YouTube's at 13 minutes, and I do not know how much longer it's going to go, because I have to try to control myself when I think about you, Laura Riley. As you can tell that my voice is elevated. I walked into Penfield Public Library. They followed me into the library, Psychopaths Incorporated. Monroe County Sheriff Office employee with the last name Siemens ran at me, held out his arm, clotheslined me, hit me in the head. I fell down. My head slammed down onto the floor of the Penfield Public Library where you used to work. They take me out the door, down the hallway, where $28,000 Paul C. Metro was waiting for me without a prosecutor from the district attorney's office. And then I'm driven to Livingston County Jail in Geneseo. And I'm told when I'm there by a jail employee that I could not be in Monroe County Jail because my safety would be compromised because of the jail employees that work for Todd Bax there. I've been attacked at jail repeatedly too, and a lot of it has to do with my age and my physical size. I mean, when you're in jail with inmates that are 6'3" and they're in there for murder, then you're a mark. But I know how to handle myself in ways that I didn't know previously prior to everything that's happening to me. So, Laura, when I was violently attacked at the Penfield Public Library, I didn't have my ID from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. I had to get a new wallet. They lost my wallet in the evidence room, too. And I had to get a birth certificate. I'm filling out the birth certificate, and I'm writing my name. Christopher Chajes. You know why I had to fill out an application for a birth certificate where I wrote my full name that I don't go by? Because I no longer have a birth certificate. Because my birth certificate was in a box in the residence. And I don't even know if one of those boxes were taken to the storage locker. This is the destruction of my life, where I'm writing my full name and filling out a birth certificate, and I'm thinking about you, Laura Riley, and I was. because everything I own is gone. And when I was filling this out, I'm thinking, is my birth certificate even in those boxes? I'm going to write to you in detail, perhaps 2,000 words. It could be even 5,000 words about everything that happened. But I don't know if you are at 781 Winifred Drive in Webster. I don't know if you work at the Fairport Public Library, because our relationship ended a long time ago, 5+ years ago, and there you are back in my life. So I go to Patrick's Printing on East Main Street over and over and over. I have just in the last 10 days spent $200 on printing because I now have money. What would you think about if Davis or Sarah were in jail and you're demanding the names of the prosecutors from the district attorney's office, and you had to fill out these green certified mail receipts here? It's how many times I've demanded the names of my prosecutors. And then you had to fill out these cards here to come back to you. This is how many times I've demanded names on prosecutors. The cards come back to me. It says on every single one of these, it says what's the name of the prosecutor, and they're refusing. I'm doing other things, too, to these hacks and criminals at the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office. But this is where we used to live, in Penfield. You can walk through that parking lot without being arrested, Laura Riley. Why is that? Because you're a different kind of American than me. Davis Hill and Sarah Hill can walk through that parking lot without being arrested. Because Davis Hill and Sarah Hill are a different kind of American than me. I've explained this on the YouTube that's attached, and I've explained it repeatedly on YouTube. Because when I get to the point of calling the United States Department of Justice, I'm going to tell Attorney General Merrick Garland that this is the lunatic fringe, a warrant for my arrest by $67,000 Shannon Meyer of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for a parking lot I've walked through 4,000 times, and in that photograph, 2 of my neighbors who were not arrested, because I'm the only one to be arrested for walking through that parking lot. And they used this camera upon me right there. I clicked off, but that's called a surveillance device right there. I was on that. See that? That's attached to 2025 Penfield Road. You can see the camera clearly. This is the fanaticism of these disgusting, sickening cretins at the sheriff's office. I walk outside to where we used to live. I stand next to the street on 26 Sanders Farm Drive. I tell a man named Steve Desert on Broccoli Tree and Lawn Care. Nobody owns the land next to my residence. I walk back inside. That's not a crime, Laura Riley. That's not criminal contempt. Second. And then they drive me downtown. I'm locked in some holding cell. I urinated on myself. And then the Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee had a phone, just like the phone I showed you, and on it is me. They have fixed the camera, also called a surveillance device, that I've been on repeatedly. And Regina Harper, the Monroe County Public Defender, emailed me these links. Not only am I on this thing just for walking outside on my residence, they got me on this thing in other ways, too. I'm walking around outside my residence, like when I would walk my little guy. I'm sure you remember our dog that we adopted. Over and over and over, I'm on this fucking camera that Psychopaths Incorporated bought and purchased for me. So, Laura Riley, tell me the facts and circumstances of my illegal eviction. Do you understand what I'm demanding from you? Because I'm not asking you. This is what I'm demanding from you, Laura Riley. Who called you? Was it Giuseppe Spano, our dead landlord? Was it Antonino Spano? What was the conversation between you and the person that called you? What were you told about where I was? And did you know, this is most important, Laura Riley, did you know it takes a court order to remove everything from my residence and take it to that storage locker in Webster, New York? Laura Riley, do you know that you have committed crimes? The crime you have committed, Laura Riley, is moving every single thing I own from where we used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive and taking it to a storage locker in Webster without a court order. And does this occur to you? Do you think that just because I don't have a lease, that I could be smashed into a million little pieces by Giuseppe Spano and Antonino Spano? I have nearly the same type of protections that a citizen with a lease. Laura, do you understand what I've been saying here now for 19 minutes and 20 seconds? Or do you not? Laura, I'm going to say this again for where you can contact me. I'm going to be in contact with you again. I have a manila envelope in front of me that came back to me from 781 Winifred in Webster. I don't know if you live there. And I Googled your name, Laura Riley plus Webster, and that's what came up. But I don't know where you are. And I'm demanding answers from you. And you're refusing to provide these answers to me when you decided to inject yourself back into my life, and you've committed a crime in injecting yourself back into my life. And I'm going to say this again, to take every single thing I own from where we used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield, New York, to a storage locker in Webster, New York, requires a court order. And you, Laura Riley, didn't have a court order. That's the crime you've committed. So, Laura Riley, respond to me on what I'm saying here. And I don't believe you will, but I'm giving you an opportunity to tell me what happened, because this is my life, and I expect you to just to blow me off. This is where I can be reached. Laura Riley, I think of Webster, New York, 620 Park Avenue, PMB number 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. Laura Riley, Monroe Community College graduate. Do what I'm telling you to do.